Okay, students, over the past few weeks, we've went through 3 themes. And those themes have been the indicators of medical anthropology's role, have defined medical anthropology, have also been important to demonstrate the role of medical anthropologists, especially in solving issues of illness and disease. So today, it's very important for you to understand that we will be revising and we will also be explaining the essay. Last week we covered, last time, let me just say last time, because we saw each other on Tuesday. So last time we spoke about theme 3 for medical anthropology. We spoke about the collaborative efforts between anthropologists and epidemiologists, remembering that the role of medical anthropology is broad, not only to use the scientific, but also to also use the humanistic side, which makes their collaboration strong, which makes their collaboration compatible. Okay, so epidemiology. I said to you last time, epidemiologists, they are a specialized field of health science. They study disease, they understand causal factors, what causes a particular illness, why is a particular illness killing people, how is it doing that, how is it transmitted, which is the mode of transmission. The measures should be taken to eliminate or minimize the impact, and also to cut off and also minimize as well the transmissions. So I said they look at patterns of disease. They have a variety of methods that they use, which all form part of research. I said to you, to do this for both anthropologists and epidemiologists, they engage in research. The research is very important, particularly because it produces outcomes to a particular problem. It produces solutions to a particular social problem. In this case, the issue of disease and illness, when we talk about epidemiologists and their role in quantitative, which means using statistical data, measurable data, using mathematic methods to solve a particular problem, using graphs, pie charts, to make sense of a particular research outcome. Okay, I spoke about medical anthropology. We spoke about medical anthropology many times before. We spoke about it when we started this module. We said before we understand medical anthropology, it's important for us to understand anthropology as a discipline, as a holistic study of human interaction, of human society. It shows us that it's very important that beliefs and culture and traditions can be linked to particular illness and disease. Medical anthropology use this through research. They engage in qualitative, which means it's a more interpersonal research, fieldwork research, which requires emic and ethic perspective. That is the researcher going to this place, understanding the people, staying with the people, understanding their lifestyles, therefore understanding what is causing their particular illness, what is making them sick, what is their issue when it comes to health. In that way, they are able to find solutions to limitations of healthcare. We also spoke about the role that they have as medical anthropologists in interpreting quantitative data. Quantitative data. Remember, I said to you, quantitative uses statistical methods, mathematics, graphs, pie charts, measurable data. An ordinary citizen will not be able to read mathematic results. So medical anthropologists have the capacity to use the qualitative side, words, ability to interpret, to turn numbers into words, making sense of what is already there, which is a quantitative data turned into a qualitative data. So this collaborative effort shows the transdisciplinary nature of medical anthropology, being able to work with different disciplines using lenses of science, lenses of natural science, using the biological and the cultural, using the scientific and the humanistic to understand a particular phenomenon. So this revision will add value again to what we already have studied. A brilliant candidate will look at theme 1, 2, and 3 and look at what they can take. What is it that they can take to contribute to their essay? Because this theme is relevant. Okay, we looked at the limitations of anthropologists. We look at the limitations of epidemiologists, where we looked at their role in qualitative data and the time qualitative data takes, because qualitative data takes time. That is why yesterday I used ethnography as an example, that in as much as ethnography can produce results, but you need to stay in the same location, let me just say so, in the same space for a particular period of time. It can be years, it can be months, it can be decades. Some people can spend 2 years, 20 years in ethnography, intensively observing, intensively recording, intensively understanding cultures, exploring more and more of what that particular group understands about a particular illness. We spoke about the problems of epidemiologists. There are limitations of quantitative data because the quantitative data cannot make sense alone. They then adopt qualitative methods, which involves participant observation, interviews, and oral history, which is all part of qualitative, which is a method used by medical anthropologists, a method of research used by social scientists. If you get to honors within the scope of anthropology, continuing with it, you will have to continuously use qualitative. If you also do sociology, you will have to adopt either quantitative and qualitative. It will be up to you and your supervisor, but the methods can work together. This is a demonstration of their ability using quantitative and qualitative, using scientific and humanistic, because if you use qualitative, you are using the humanistic and the cultural. If you're using the quantitative, you are using the scientific and the biological, because usually they engage in laboratory research, taking samples of a particular virus, understanding the virological DNA or makeup of the particular virus. So they then adopt these methods, interviews and semi-structured interviews, which are part of qualitative, not quantitative. So the difference between the two is that qualitative is mostly predominantly used by social scientists, use of words, use of interpersonal research, whilst quantitative uses surveys, mathematics, measurable data, statistical data, which is collected in larger quantities. It can be a countrywide research in quantitative, but in a qualitative, you cannot engage in a countrywide research because you will need to interview people. You cannot interview 14 million people, not even to mention even 500,000 people individual interviews, it will be impossible. That's where quantitative as part of science comes in. It's capacity to use service statistical data to understand the disease, while qualitative interprets this data to people and decision makers. Okay. Yes, data analysis of information, yes. For anthropologists, they deal with explaining information. Yes, I mentioned to you that an ordinary civilian will not understand quantitative information or quantitative data because it will come in a form of tables, pie graphs, pie charts, whilst medical anthropologists with their qualitative skills, the ability to use words, expressions, and the flexibility of explaining and narrating, which is explaining a particular thing. They then engage in explaining information. They look at meanings attached to that particular numbers, to those particular numbers, to that particular data that needs to be analyzed. Look at commonalities of thinking, behavior, and interpretation. Yes, they interpret commonalities, thinking, and behavior, because thinking is linked to illness and behavior is also linked to illness. If you want to understand why people are getting sick of COVID, you need to understand how they are thinking. Do they understand the measures that need to be taken, such as masks? Are they behaving in a good manner, not attending large gatherings? What is the interpretation which comes in medical anthropology? Okay, look at risk factors, high risk factors, low risk factors, medium risk factors. You see, we've went through such. Today is a revision. So we need to know that I've spoken about this. I'm not going to repeat most of the things. I'm just summing up, basically summing up. Okay. There were limitations and barriers. They said anthropologists say epidemiologists ignore context, and the same argument rises. Epidemiologists, they say you cannot solve illness through context. Context can shape only behavior, which epidemiologists continuously criticizes medical anthropologists of their methods that take time, methods that waste time, because the illness is now when it's making people sick. You cannot possibly think you will go there and that's chill with those people. You need to go straight to the point, the use of biomedical, which is where this barriers to collaboration comes in. There are barriers to their collaboration, whilst the other is able to work with the other criticizes the other. Qualitative takes time. The methods of qualitative take time. They cannot possibly think we can solve a particular illness and causal factors through understanding the context. Whilst anthropologists say the context needs to be understood, that is culture, looking at culture, the food people eat, understanding the relationship between diabetes and the type of people of food people eat, such as growing up drinking Coke every night, eating fries every Thursday, eating pizza every Saturday. Those have a particular outcome. So context for anthropologists comes in that way. Let's look at culture to understand why people are getting sick, and to understand that we will be able to take measures and be able to understand the social causal factors. Okay, we spoke about this case study. It was a demonstration of the collaboration between anthropologists and epidemiologists. It happened in KZN, and it shows the relationship between social science and the natural science, the relationship between the scientific and the humanistic. It also demonstrated the transdisciplinary role, the transdisciplinary characteristic of medical anthropology, which is in your essay. So for you to be able to demonstrate this, you need to go to these notes, understand transdisciplinary, because no one would just say transdisciplinary is this and this and that. But transdisciplinary comes because there's a connection, there's a relationship, there's an established role of medical anthropology being able to use scientific and humanistic and cultural aspects against the biological elements of science. Okay, I think we've done this, all of this. You need to go through your notes. Yeah, you need to go through your notes. You need to go through your notes. So I'm moving on to explaining the essay now. I'm moving on to explaining the essay. Okay. Okay. Academic writing is important. And I'm sure most of you were copying and pasting last year, and it worked for you. So this year, I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen. If it happens, I'm going to catch you because I read. And most of you think Googling something out of 580 students and taking it as it is, you'll be the only one who's doing that. You are 580. So probably hundreds will be Googling the same page. They'll be Googling the same site. So if I catch that, then you fail because I will know that you did not study, you do not understand this, and definitely you have copied. Okay. Continuing. So the topic, most of you have been asking about the topic. They've been asking, they do not understand the topic. We do not understand it, the disciplinary context, the transdisciplinary field. I've been explaining this. I just explained this when we explained the collaborative efforts between medical anthropologists and epidemiologists. I did explain that. If you are here and you did also go back to your notes, you'll understand that when we talk of transdisciplinary, the transition from one field to the other, where two fields meet, the connection between two phenomena, which is where you can speak of the collaboration between medical anthropologists and epidemiologists. Okay, continuing. Okay, medical anthropology, we spoke about since day one. So I'm going to break down, not going to tell you how to write an essay, but I'm going to make an example as to how I would have written this essay. Topic, medical anthropology in its disciplinary context has a long history from 1960s. Remember, we did talk about this, so there's no need for you to focus on the statement. The statement can either help you generate a paragraph, but it must not take attention from what is important, which is to critically discuss the scope of medical anthropology as a transdisciplinary field of social science. So for you to understand this, you need to make sure you break down your topic. Students, break down your topic. Break it down. You see, discuss medical anthropology as a transdisciplinary field. The keywords I've highlighted. So for you, what you need to do is to generate a paragraph through looking at this. Because if you cannot generate paragraphs or a paragraph, you'll have an issue. Medical anthropology, we studied it. Go to theme one, look at the things that you can take. Someone can start with, for example, history or define medical anthropology or discuss however you wish to write this. It will work for you. You need to structure the essay. Don't copy and paste somewhere and come and paste it somewhere. If it doesn't make sense, It doesn't make sense. There is no critical essay online. You will never find a critical essay. No one actually uploads a critical essay for a specific purpose, but it's for a particular reason that they have written that essay for. So don't think going there to Google, pasting and coming back to give me a long, meaningless essay you will pass. I will not entertain that. I'm marking and I will not entertain that, and I will punish that definitely. Yeah, and I'm not going to negotiate that. Okay, for you to understand essay writing, essay needs to have a structure, as I've been telling you. You cannot go there, copy and paste things, paste here, go on Google, type transdisciplinary and put there. I will catch you. There are things that are going to be said on that, and people will get the same site and they will use it the same way you did. So be careful of that. You are a large number, a huge class. So I'm going to catch you and I'm going to fail everyone who will do that. You need to think, write, read your readings, structure a beautiful essay, don't cut corners. I'm going to cut you short. An academic essay contributes to your knowledge. Yes, it contributes to your knowledge. So if you have no knowledge, it will be demonstrated on your essay. It will be demonstrated on your essay. It will be demonstrated on your essay. It also helps you write up. You cannot expect to write bigger essay if you can't write a small essay. You cannot expect to go to honors or PhD if you can't write an essay. Copying and pasting will show that you will never learn, and being able to write will help you pass. Probably we might come back second semester, who knows? Probably there's a huge potential. So if ever you do not learn how to write now, copying and pasting, you continuously fail until you come here and fail and get excluded and fail more. You become a better writer as well. If you can write and be corrected, you'll become better. So most of the students have queried this. I'm explaining it now. Essay need to have structure, meaningful paragraphs next to structure, meaningful paragraphs. Don't just go around taking random things and putting them together. You need to make sure defining anthropology or history, and defining or relevance of medical anthropology, origins of medical. I need to see paragraphs, beautiful paragraphs talking about one thing. I suggest you have subheadings so that you run away from repetition, so that you'll be able to reach cohesion and coherence. Cohesion and coherence. Cohesion okay. Structure. Said to you say have to have a structure as well. When I speak of cohesion, let me go back. You need to have a build-up in your essay. So if you spoke about the definitions of medical anthropology, don't repeat the same definitions on the second paragraph. Try to talk about the role perhaps of medical anthropology, then follow up on the criticism of medical anthropology or critics of medical anthropology. You see, you should have a proper method. You should follow a proper method. Okay. So structures have to have three elements. General statement. You say in your introduction, please, you need to have a proper introduction. Don't just take things and put them there. The essay is about medical anthropology. Don't start with that. Tell us about medical anthropology. It has a long history. Over the years, medical anthropology has improved. This essay will do this and this and this. It will do this by doing this and this and this. You see, structure, general statement, thesis statement, and outline, which is what the essay intends to do, how the essay will do this. In that way, you'll have a proper structure. Have a proper structure. Yes, Zintle? Yes, Zintle?
Please mute the people that are.
Zintle? Yeah,
Sir, can you mute the people that are currently?
I'm listening.
Can you please mute the person that is currently speaking? We can't hear
Can
you.
you hear me?
Yes, now we can, but the person is still talking in the back.
You say you have to have a logical order. Don't copy and paste things and think you've reached your destination. I'm going to catch you as well. Okay. What is also important is for you to follow instructions. Most of you use a font that you want. I'm going to punish that using the font that you want. Times New Roman. Times New Roman. Here we use Times New Roman. Size 12. Font 1.5 spacing. Harvard referencing. Harvard. Sanet, yes, I'm listening.
I'm the only funniest guy you ever met.
Asikuzwa khona umuntu okhulumayo lana.
Sicela lecture bandla imute noma imkhiphe ngoba kade eqalile.
Ngempela asikuzwa I'm sure nathi awusizwa.
Oh, ubalo.
Ngiyakhona umbona. Ubanga umsindo uyahluka.
Idot elibanga umsindo.
Se uyaxoxa akafundi, uyaxoxa uceleni akafundi, akaphume.
Oh Lord,
Akasiphazamisa phela thina.
Balo
akaphume nje akaphume.
Ngathi usephumile futhi manje ngicela ukuthi bandla umgade because asikuzwa wangempela. We didn't hear half of lezi zinto kade uzisho ngenkathi uqala manje indaba ye-essay.
Oh, okay, let me go back. Listen, sorry.
Okay, siyabonga.
Okay. Okay, I said to you, to be able to write an essay, you need to break it down. For example, the keywords here: history, discuss, medical anthropology, transdisciplinary. For someone who likes to structure their essay around history, they can do that. Discussing medical anthropology, they can do this. Discussing the transdisciplinary nature of medical anthropology can also do that. So you can start by defining or starting with the history, following with the definition of medical anthropology, following with the relevance or the criticism of medical anthropology. So it basically becomes your essay. So no one will direct or dictate how you write your essay. No one will dictate how you write your essay. Your essay needs to be structured. It needs to have content. It needs to have a reference. If I speak about structure, introduction, the body, and conclusion, and then content, what you wrote. You need to be careful of what you wrote, which is important. You need to be careful of what you wrote, because most of you write less about definitions and explain more about the relevance and explain less about the origins. So your information needs to be balanced. You need to balance your information. You need to balance your information. That's where content comes in. If you can explain definition equally with history, equally with the relevance, equally with the criticism, then your essay is well balanced. It has a beautiful content, because I will not say you did not write about this. I will see everything in one. Yes, Sponel.
Say, is it okay to show the linkage between these three subtopics, such as the history, medical anthropology, transdisciplinary, in an introduction?
Yes, you can do that. You can do that as long as you will make sure that in your introduction, you state what the essay will do and how it will do it. Besides that, you can structure it however you want, as long as you will mention that, because you will see when we get to the rubric, to the marking rubric, I will be pointing things that we usually shoot down when people write, such as the content. Their content becomes skewed, where you talk about the relevance more than anything else. You'll find that someone is talking about the relevance from for the past maybe 900 words, for almost 900 words, talking about the same thing. I will also talk about reference as well, don't worry. I will also talk about reference. Okay, we'll talk about reference as well. Okay, I said to you, essays have to have structure and cohesion. For that to happen, you need to start from simple definition to a more complex explanation to a more dynamic elaboration. So you cannot expect to have your last paragraph as history. If you have history of anthropology as your paragraph, as your last paragraph, then your essay does not have cohesion, because usually if you want to know about someone, you know about their history, know about their current age, know about their role. So you understand from history, definition, relevance, criticism, or transdisciplinary nature. So you need to also consider that. Okay. Please, Times New Roman. I said to you, most of you use any font. Just take any font to put it there. You're writing. I'm going to shoot that down as well. I'm going to be looking at that. Font size is 12. Check. Highlight your work. Check whether it's 12 at the top. Here. Check whether it's 12. I'm showing you here. Times New Roman 12. You can also justify your paragraph by making it straight on the side. Don't give me disorganized work. Show that you are a second year now. You're going to third year. Soon your degree will be complete. 1.5 spacing. I'm not expecting people to put the spacing they want. 1.5 spacing. Not 1, not 1.15, just 1.5 spacing. Also, Harvard. I'm going to talk about Harvard, or referencing in general. Word count. Don't think writing 5,000 words will give you marks. Relax. It will not. It will destroy you. You will be destroyed, because you'll be writing longer pieces, repeating yourself, making more mistakes. The more you write, the bigger you're writing, the more mistakes you make. So you must make sure that you keep it 900, or you can make it 1,200. Okay, you can make it 1.3, 1.4, but 900 could be beautiful. Counting the lines, making your first paragraph 5 lines or 6 lines, making your second paragraph 7 lines or 8 lines. So your lines have to be counted. You must be strategic when you're writing an essay. 5 lines for each. Oh yes, I'm going to write 5 lines, 5 paragraphs of 5 lines each. So I'm having almost 25 lines, which is perfect. Strategically, don't think writing more will give you marks again. Writing more might hurt you because you make more mistakes. Okay. Your essay was given earlier because we want submission on time. So essay was given earlier. See the rubric? This is the rubric we use. So you'll find someone just dived in. Diving in means you don't have an introduction, you're just going straight to the point. So the presence and quality is not there, so you will be losing here. So out of 10, I'm already giving you 1 or 2, because you did not mention what the essay will do and how it will do this. How the essay will do this will determine your paragraphs. This essay will define medical anthropology, mention the relevance of medical anthropology, the transdisciplinary nature of medical anthropology, or the collaborative effort between anthropologists and epidemiologists. And then it will then state the methods of research for medical anthropologists. There are many ways to write this. Choose to ignore research methods. You can dive into the collaborative effort, defining in relevance. If you choose to take the research side of medical anthropology, you can also put a paragraph on their research methods as well. You can also put that on their research method. Okay. No, you are not creating your own cover page. This is the cover page. On the topic given, I suggest you take the topic which we provided to you. At the bottom, you start writing your essay. Use the same format. Write into the same topic word document we gave to you, which will be simple, instead of copying and pasting it to somewhere else. Take what you've written somewhere, paste it into what I gave to you. Okay, grammar and structure, yes, we'll be catching that. Introduction, body, conclusion, and then I will be giving you your 4 or 3 or 5 out of 5. Your content, I'm here about the content. The content. The content. Students, balance your content. Don't talk about something else more than the other. That is why I say, moving on from today, even if you are writing sociology, anthropology, psychology, geography, environmental science, make sure that you balance your content. If we, for example, in sociology, you have to write about social stratification, it must be balanced. Don't talk about inequality more than marginalization. Balance inequality, marginalization, and hierarchy. The three must be balanced because they all make up the element of stratification. That's an example. Here, you need to balance between defining relevance or methods of use, history of medical anthropology. Make sure your things are equal, your paragraphs are equal. 5, strategically, 5, 6 lines, paragraph 1, 6 lines, paragraph 2. If it happens, 8 lines, paragraph 3. Not to say the exact lines must be equal, no. If it's 9, then 9 lines, then 4 lines. So you need to balance your information though. You need to balance it. Include explanation of key concepts. Yes, key concepts, the relevant, the methods of research, which is the qualitative method in medical anthropology, the transdisciplinary nature of medical anthropology. You see, discuss on the relevance and the role of medical anthropology, discuss on how the field understands human evolution and the emergence of epidemics. You see, there is a lot. Structure, content, reference. Structure, introduction, body, conclusion. Introduction, mention what the essay will do and how the essay will do it. This essay will critically discuss medical anthropology as a transdisciplinary field of social science. This will be done by defining medical anthropology, history of medical anthropology, methods of research by medical anthropology, collaborations of medical anthropology, criticism of medical anthropology. You see, you can choose how you want this. So please do this however you want, but I need structure, I need cohesion, I need coherent, I need references, I need proper outline. Originality, yes, originality, students, originality. I said to you, you are almost 600 in this class. So 600 students, and you think you are the only one that visited the site and took things as they are. Good luck. Good luck on that. I'm going to catch you and you're going to fail. And I'm not going to be giving second chances to people who copied. Okay, originality. What sources were used? You have sources that come in a form of readings. You have readings. You don't need to read the whole reading. You can check what you want, take the reference, take what you want, leave it like that. There's no need for you to read page by page, crack your skull and pass out. drink energy to finish the reading page. It's impossible. I don't even do that as well. I scroll, see, oh, I'm taking medical anthropology definition, taking this on page, this medical anthropology definition, I'm taking on this, I'm going to leave this, taking this reading this, taking this, leaving that. Don't think you'll go through each and every page. It's not possible, and it's impossible. It's extremely impossible. Okay, evidence of additional research. You can use the sources we gave to you, which are the readings. You can Google this on the internet with the sites you took it from, with the paraphrasing you did. Paraphrase your work, because not paraphrasing, I'm going to be shooting, I'm going to be having a huge gun, destroying everyone who thinks they have PhDs or masters. They don't even have masters. Is there an effort to write in own words? Yes, I'm looking at that as well. Effort. Did you put effort in this, or you just copied and pasted? Copied and pasted. That will be a problem for you. Reference in text. Most of you in the past have had in text, but not the reference list. So the in text, the same reference on your in text must appear on your reference list. So you cannot have reference on your reference list without having it on the in text. Same as you cannot have reference on your in text without having it on your reference list. You can do this by referencing as you go along. Taking something, writing it down, putting reference on the reference list, putting in text and reference on the reference list, because that will save you. A reference on the in text and in the bibliography, written well. Yes, are they written well? In the past, many of you have demonstrated a great deal of struggling with referencing. Keep in mind that reference can be looked at somewhere. There are formats. You follow a particular format. You can Google it, Harvard reference style, PDF, checking it, looking at the newspaper. If you have a newspaper, looking at that guide, it will help you, because you will copy what is written there, looking at the source, writing as you look at this, comparing the two. So reference can be copied by looking at it somewhere, or taking it as it is where you are taking it. Okay, in-text reference. Most of you are struggling. You put initials on the in-text reference. You do not put initials. 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 Please, you do not. I'm repeating myself because some of you will forget about this, and I'm going to penalize you, because reference has a mark. Master everything and you will pass. Master academic writing and you will excel. If the author is one, you can do it like this. If there are two authors, you can do it like this. I'm going to share some of these notes with you. If you are looking at this, you can see that I'm writing one author, how you do it on the in-text, two authors, how you do it on the in-text, three authors, how you do it on the in-text. And if there are more than three authors, you can put ETAL. We add ETAL. Okay. Bibliography, alphabetical order. Alphabetical order. Yes. If you have Armstrong, you'll put Armstrong there. If you have Bernard, you'll put Bernard there. If you have, you see, Anand or something, you put it there. Something. Okay. On your bibliography, you put the full reference list with the surname, initials, year of publication, page numbers, and place of publications. We do not just put the name and the same as we do. We put the surname here as we do on the in-text. We do not. We put the whole thing. If it has a link, you put it there. You put everything there. Okay. Sources of referencing, you can use journals, you can use newspapers, you can use internet sources, you can use videos, you can use books, you can use the readings we gave to you. The readings we gave to you must be a priority. They are your priority. So please, students, please, This is our final session. For me, it's my final session with you. So Dr. Sanduza will be taking over from next week. So what you need to do right now is go through your readings, make sure that you do this and you do it right. Okay, email you. If you have issues, you can email me. And thank you. We will be emailing each other. I'm going to send the notes that I did for you. Okay. Enjoy the rest of the